Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show, a real estate investment program. Listen and learn how to use real estate to build wealth and passive income streams for you and your family. We bring you experts every day to discuss and answer your questions on everything from single-family homes all the way up to 600-plus unit apartment complexes. And now, the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome to the show. My name is Al Gordon, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. On today's show, I've got to ask the question, are you going through the motions? And what does that mean? What exactly does that mean? Well, to me, it means doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, because we all know that that's really the definition of insanity. But many of us do that on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's ingrained in us. Society teaches us how to follow its path to retirement, which is, you know, get focused, get into school, get good grades, get a good job, get a good retirement or pension plan or 401k or whatever it is, and then work like a dog 35, 40, 45 or more years, only to amass some type of savings in the form of these retirement plans, and then you turn around and you try and not outlive your money. I tell you, it's a recipe for disaster. I don't think those things work, and I've got some concern that the government may implode those things just because there's some craziness going on in the government right now. But on today's show, I don't want to talk about the government. I really don't. What I want to talk about is going through the motion. And I've got some help here. You know, I did a little research. I'm kind of an audiophile. I like to listen to music. I listen to a lot of talk radio, but I also like to listen to music. And I'll confess, I'm a classic rock fan. I really am. I was calling classic rock before anybody was calling it classic rock, because I thought it was classic. I really did. And I was like, what, a teenager or in college? So what I'm going to do on today's show is I'm going to dig into the music bag. Now, I'm not going to play any music for you. I'm not set up to do that. My producers and engineers have no idea what I'm doing, so they couldn't prep anything for me to assist me with. And, you know, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly to the lyrics, because I think there are some songs out there that are really going to solidify my point. And I'm going to start off with a band called Kansas. Now, back in the 80s, I loved Kansas. Back in the 70s, I loved Kansas. Not particularly the state, although I do own rental property in the state. But I'm talking about the band. I thought that they were just kind of a neat, incredible band. You know, they brought all kinds of different instruments into their music. It wasn't just, you know, electric guitars and bass and drums. It was a little more than that. And I think they did a really good job with writing their songs, you know. And one song in particular that they wrote is called Going Through the Motions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the lyrics with you. Now, I am not going to sing. I do not have a singer's voice. When I try and sing, small children and animals run out of the room. It is true, okay? I guess I've got a voice for radio, so that's, I guess, part of the reason I'm here. But more importantly, what I'm going to do is get into these lyrics, because I think these lyrics are going to send a message to you. So this is Going Through the Motions by Kansas. Standing in line at the usual time with $1 and a dime. Are you going through the motions? Do you wear the latest style? Can you guarantee a smile? Won't you stop and talk a while? Are you going through the motions? And is your day just a reflection of the day before? Don't you ever stop and wonder if there's something more? Do you really mean to tell me that you're satisfied? Are you for real, or are you going through the motions? Hearsay, there say, everything is fine. Are you running out of time? Going through the motions? Some things never change. Easy chair, 9 to 5. Get ahead, stay alive. Are you going through the motions? And is your day just a reflection of the day before? Don't you ever stop and wonder if there's something more? Do you really mean to tell me that you're satisfied? Are you for real? Or are you going through the motions? Stop and take a look around you. Don't say it isn't there. People going through the motions everywhere. I know it isn't easy. It gets tougher every day, but we keep going through the motions anyway. Going through the motions. You know, I think that song and those lyrics really strike a chord in my heart. No pun intended. Okay, maybe pun intended. A lot of us are going through the motions. A lot of you are dealing with going through the motions. It's been ingrained in us since we were young. Think about it. If you were ever in preschool or kindergarten, you know, that's when the regiment starts. That's when society starts teaching you the basics of going through the motion. You know, you have to wake up. Your parents get you up. You have to have breakfast. You have to get dressed. Hopefully you had a bath the night before. And they put you in the car. They drive you to the preschool. The preschool takes control of you. They put you through whatever the regimen is. Hopefully it's academically based. And, you know, it comes to nap time. And I remember nap time. I used to sit there because I didn't do naps. I still don't do naps, but I'd have to lay there for whatever the time was. I don't know. Maybe it was a half an hour, maybe it was an hour. To me, it seemed like eternity because I wasn't going to sleep. I mean, my mind was just wired and there was just no reason for me to sleep. But that was part of going through the motion. And then my parents would come pick me up after preschool or kindergarten and take me home. We'd have dinner and then I'd watch a little TV with them and then I'd take my bath and I'd go to bed and I'd wake up the next day and guess what I did? I went through the motions. And that didn't change as I continued to grow up. You see, when I got into elementary school, the only thing that really changed was that my parents didn't drive me to and from elementary school. I had to walk, and it was about a 2-mile walk. So when you consider a 7-year-old doing a 2-miler, that was incredible. And, you know, a lot of times I did it by myself. A lot of times I did it with friends. It just depended, you know, when I left the house, when I started going through the motions. And I went through the motions throughout my entire day because that's what society taught me to do, was to go through the motions. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about going through the motions.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Now, let's get back to your map to financial freedom.
Yeah, we're working on that map to financial freedom because what I'm helping you understand today is that you are probably living in a vicious cycle. It is what I term going through the motions. And, you know, I found a variety of different pieces of music out there, I guess call them songs, that's what they are, that deal with going through the emotions. You know, some of them are what I would call work-based. In other words, they're focused on, you know, that day-to-day grind of working. Others are maybe a little more religious-based. It talks about, you know, your walk with God and kind of challenges you as to whether or not you're on a walk with God or you're not on a walk with God. And I'm not here trying to proselytize anybody. You know, religion, that's totally up to you. And, you know, if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not here to shove it down your throat. I've got a relationship with God. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with people not having a relationship with God. It's just what it is. There's also songs that talk about going through the motions in your relationships or your love life. You know, are you going through the motions with your spouse? Are you going through the motions with your children? You know, that is a direct fallout of going through the motions of life. So what I'm trying to do today is give you some lyrics to different songs to give you a different approach to, how these musicians have discussed going through the motions. And this particular lyric list, I guess, I don't know, song, let's call it a song. It's a song, Al, call it a song. It's called The Motions. It's written by or sung by a gentleman by the name of Matthew West. I don't have the copyright information in front of me, or I'd tell you. I think it's a more recent song. I kind of recognize the lyrics themselves. Now, this is a longer song, but I'm going to go through the whole thing because I think it's important for you. It is religious based, but what I would recommend to you that, are not into religion or don't care about religion or got burned by the church or whatever affected you, take it from a different standpoint. Take it maybe from the standpoint of your spouse or your significant other. And, just listen to what the lyrics say, and I think they'll resonate with you. The song goes like this. This might hurt, it's not safe, but I know that I've got to make a change. I don't care if I break, at least I'll be feeling something, because just okay is not enough. Help me fight through the nothingness of life. I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to go one more day without your all-consuming passion inside of me. I don't want to spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? No regrets, not this time. I'm going to let my heart defeat my mind. Let your love make me whole. I think I'm finally feeling something, because just okay is not enough. Help me fight through the nothingness of this life, because I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to go one more day without your all-consuming passion inside of me. I don't want to spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? Take me all the way. Take me all the way. Take me all the way. I know I'm finally feeling something real. Take me all the way. I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to go one more day without your all-consuming passion inside of me. I don't want to spend my whole life asking, what if I had given everything instead of just going through the motions? I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to go one more day. Okay, and it goes on like that, and basically it repeats that. And I think the key takeaway from this song is that line of, what if I had given everything instead of going through the motions? You can apply that anywhere in your life. You absolutely can. And I'll tell you what, are you just going through the motions? Are you giving everything? Are you stuck in a rut? Are you in a dead-end job? Are you concerned that job may not be there after coronavirus? Are you considering a job move, but you're nervous about that because it means leaving safety and security and comfort of a job that you hate to maybe get into a job that may or may not resonate with you? I'll tell you what. I was talking a little bit about going through the motions as a young child through elementary school, and I did that. Through elementary school, it was going through the motions. It was getting up every day. It was going to school. It was coming back from school. It was doing my homework or not doing my homework or whatever was going on that day, and then maybe playing a little bit outside and then coming back inside, and then wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. You know where I'm going with this. They were conditioning me to follow society's path. There's no getting around it. I mean, it is all structured. Everything is all structured so that you get in the habit of going through the motions. You get in the habit of doing what society tells you to do. So you get through elementary school, and then maybe you get to middle school or junior high, as they call it in some places. And you know what? The venue changes. The kids are a little bit older. You look to your left, you look to your right, and you know what? Everybody's doing the same thing. They're all going through the motions. And in junior high or middle school, what you tend to find is there are some kids that are really going through the motions because they don't want to be there, but they're stuck. They're stuck in the rut. They're stuck in the path that society set forth in front of them. Yeah. And you've done it, I've done it, we've all done it. And then we get to high school, okay? And the playing field changes again in high school. You maybe get a little more autonomy. You get to maybe pick your classes that you want because you're following a graduation guidance, documentation, basically saying you must take 3 years or 4 years of English, you must take 3 years or 4 years of math, you've got to take some science, you've got to take some physical ed, you've got to take maybe an art class, you've got to take maybe a speech and debate class. Whatever the formula is, it's all conditioned to get you to go through the motions. And then you get out of high school, and some of you go to college. Some of you go to a trade school. Some of you go right into the workforce. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing over and over. Wash, rinse, repeat. It is designed and continues to condition your mind for a lifetime of working for the man and going through the motions. Is that really what you want? Is that really where you're at? How do you break free? How do you get away from that? Well, I'll tell you what, you have to do a paradigm shift in your mind. You have to step away from your body, from your existence, and you have to look inward. And you have to see exactly what you're doing. And you have to recognize that you are going through the motions, that you're getting up and doing the same thing over and over and over again. And some of you are expecting a different result, and that different result is not forthcoming. See, we're going through the motions. And when we come back from the break, I've got some more lyrics to share with you because I want to help you break that cycle. I want to help you stop going through the motions. We'll be back right after this.
Warning, listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show will change your life. We will teach you how to create wealth and passive income so you can be financially free. And now, back to your host.
Welcome back to the show. On today's show, we're talking about going through the motions. That's right. We're talking about that day-to-day rut that you're in because you're in a rut. The coronavirus thing may have interrupted that rut for a while, but America is starting to open back up. People are starting to go back to work. People are continuing to work from home, or maybe they're getting ready to go back to the office. See, they're getting ready to go back through the motions because that's what they've been conditioned to do. They don't know anything different other than get up, go to work your butt off, maybe because your heart's not in it, and then you come home, and then maybe you try and estrange your family because you're so burned out and you just want to watch some TV and maybe throw down a couple cold beers before you go to bed, get up and do it again. See, you don't have romance in your life. You don't have fitness in your life. You don't have the things that you deserve to have in your life. I think it's kind of funny how we go to school and physical fitness is a part of school. And some people think that the physical fitness thing is just a going through the motions thing. So they don't like to participate, but other people like to participate. I like to participate, and I got up to college and I got to participate in sports in college. And, that was great. And then I got into the workforce. I went into the Army. And, the Army's kind of big on sports, not necessarily organized sports, but real big on physical fitness. So you get together as groups, you do physical fitness training and things like that. Well, I did that throughout my military career, and I got to a point where I was retired. So, physical fitness was kind of on me. And what's that got to do with going through the motions? Well, for a lot of you, the physical fitness thing stopped at high school or it stopped at college. You didn't get to continue with that. And it has a dramatic effect on your health and your well-being. Now, you don't have to be, Mr. Texas like our founder and CEO, Del Walmsley, was at one time. That's not what I'm getting at. You should be able to have fitness as a part of your life. Now, some of you are involved with gyms and stuff like that, but the key thing here is this. You get to go to the gym based on your employer's schedule, not based on your schedule. So what are you doing? You're going through the motions. And I've got another song here that I'd like to read to you. I guess I'm doing it like poetry because I can't sing to save. If somebody offered me $1 million to sing any song I wanted to sing, and all I had to do was sing on key and try not to butcher the song, I would never, ever, ever earn that $1 million. Not now, not forever. I just can't sing. And, if you heard me sing, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. So I've got a voice for radio, apparently. So we're going to use that voice, and we're going to go through a song by Joss Whedon. It's called Going Through the Motions. And it's another perspective that I think you need to hear. He says, or he sings, but I won't sing. Every single night, the same arrangement. I go out and fight the fight. Still, I always feel the strange estrangement. Nothing here is real. Nothing here is right. I've been making shows of trading blows, just hoping no one knows that I've been going through the motions, walking through the park. Nothing seems to penetrate my heart. I was always brave and kind of righteous. Now I find myself wavering. Crawl out of your grave. You'll fight this fight. Just doesn't mean a thing. She ain't got that swing. Thanks for noticing. She does pretty well with fiends from hell. But lately, we can tell that she's just going through the motions, faking it somehow. She's not even half the girl she... Ow. Will I stay this way forever, sleepwalking through my life's endeavor? How can I repay? Whatever. I don't want to be going through the motions, losing all my drive. I can't even see if this is really me, and I just want to be alive. Now, I'll tell you what, that kind of hits me at the core there, because that is kind of, well, it's not kind of, that's exactly what I've been trying to tell you, that going through the motions is a symptom of following society's path to retirement, or society's path to anything, because society has got you on this train, and this train is, going nowhere really fast, and you endure, and the key word there is endure, this going through the motions thing. You're stuck. You don't know how to get out of it. I'll tell you what, I was stuck at one point too. I mean, I'm just like you, man. I'm totally just like you. I'm just a guy trying to get ahead and do wonderful things for myself and my family. And I tell you, when I came off of active duty with the military, I found myself physically retired, but not financially retired. What does that mean? It means I had a pension coming in, but that pension wasn't meeting all of my requirements for my expenses, my living expenses. It doesn't cover my living expenses. So what do I need? Well, I need something to supplement that. So for me, coming off of active duty, the thing that I had been conditioned to do was to go out and find a job. Yeah, but here's what I found. Finding that job was not very easy. It took me 10 months, and during that 10 months, we were burning through our savings. We were burning through our free and clear vehicles by putting title loans on them, and we had torched whatever savings we had. And it was a difficult time. And after 10 months, I finally landed a job, but it was a job that really was way below my pay grade, if you will. It was really way below my level of expertise. But I needed a job because that was my path. That's what the path that society gave me. That's what they told me to do. When you come out of the military, you just go back to work. And hopefully you get a job that pays you another pension. And then hopefully you get to the age of 60 or 65, and you can start drawing that pension in addition to your military pension. I was going through the motions when I worked at that job. Now, I worked for the city of San Antonio. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the actual work I was doing. I was doing economic development, so I was working with people in the community that were really trying to improve conditions, and we were putting forth projects and things like that. But I'll tell you what, the bureaucracy of the city, the backstabbing, the people trying to climb up the quote-unquote corporate or public ladder, as it might be, awful. Just awful. And I saw it firsthand, and I could see it, I could smell it, I could taste it, and I hated it. But I was going through the motions. See, I was getting up every day. I was doing what I needed to do to get to work. I got in the car. I drove my 45 minutes dealing with traffic, getting my road rage, getting to the office at 7:45 in the morning because that was report time. And, working diligently until 4:30, which was you can go home time, except when the boss's boss was preparing for a council meeting, and he'd wait for the last minute, and he would expect his entire staff to be working while he was working. And sometimes we didn't get out of there until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Now, you think we got a pass, coming in the next morning? Oh, heck no. You have your butt here at 7:45, because that's what the contract says. That's what the city demands, and that's what we demand of you. Now, did I meet some good people at the city? Yes, I did. Some of my co-workers were some really great people. But you know what? Most of them were stuck on the same going through the motion cycle I was on. And when I say most of them, what I really should say is all of them. Every single one was stuck on that treadmill. And, I didn't know how to get out of it. They didn't know how to get out of it. We were all pursuing the same thing, which was trying to get a pension, try and hold down a job, and hopefully not get fired in the process. But along the way, we found Lifestyles Unlimited. And by becoming members of Lifestyles Unlimited, it changed our lives. It helped to get us away from going through the motions to the point where I don't go through the motions anymore. And if you would like to check out our free workshop, you can do so at freeworkshoplivestream.com. That's freeworkshoplivestream.com. Take a look. You'll be amazed at the results.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. It's time to turn up the volume and fine-tune your passive income plan so you can create the lifestyle you've always wanted.
I'll tell you what, that's exactly what we're trying to do for you today. Is we're trying to help you create the lifestyle you've always wanted. But for most of you, if not all of you out there, you're going through the motions. You're going through the motions that society laid out for you. I mean, you could take it all the way back to preschool and kindergarten. They started teaching you how to go through the motions back then. And you went through elementary school. You went through junior high or middle school. You went through high school. Some of you went to college and got advanced degrees. Some of you went to college and got out in the workforce. Some of you went to a vocational school and got out in the workforce. Some of you just went out in the workforce. And you know what you've been doing ever since? You've been going through the motions. Now, I've got one other song that I would like to share with you. Again, I am not going to sing this song because I don't want to drive the audience away. But this is a song by Magic. And the name of the song, well, you can probably guess, is Motion. What they're talking about in this song is, well, why don't we just get into the song? And then I'll let you decide what they're talking about. And hopefully it resonates with you. It starts off like this. It says, every day, the same routine, operating life machine. On and on, we live this way with no spontaneity. What happened to the wild ones? No sense of the hours. What happened to the freedom? Did we get that back? So we're going through the motions. We're just going through the motions. We used to live like waves in the oceans. Now we're going through the motions. What if I said, let's run away, a one-way ticket to an exotic place, dance and scream and shout in the pouring rain, find serenity in the great escape? What happened to the wild ones? No sense of the hours. What happened to the freedom? Can we get that back? Because we're going through the motions. We're just going through the motions. We used to live like waves in the oceans. Now we're going through the motions. And the song continues with that chorus, but I think you get the point. Are you just going through the motions? Have you been doing that for how long? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years. Some of you have been doing it for longer. I know. I have talked to you. I have talked to people like you. As a matter of fact, people like you become members of Lifestyles Unlimited because they realize it's not too late. It's not too late to stop going through the motions. So let me say this. The alarm goes off and you're exhausted. You hit the snooze button a couple of times, and after 20 minutes, you summon up enough energy to get out of bed. While trudging to the bathroom, you pull back the shades from the window, but not too much to wake your spouse. It's pitch black outside, and a frost of ice is covering the lawn. It's freezing, waiting for the train to arrive. The 6:30 a.m. was canceled, and a large crowd is forming. Of course, there are no seats available when the train doors open. Some rude person has his bag strategically placed on the seat next to him. He averts your glare, and you start shaking with anger, wanting to punch him in his smug face as he nonchalantly pretends that there is not a crowd of people desperate for a seat. For the next hour, you are standing, squeezed next to a bunch of other sleepy commuters, all trying to maintain their balance as the train shakes along. You feel a wave of something come over you. It's like you're tired, but worse. It's a feeling of just wanting to crawl back into bed. It's like you can't take it anymore. One day bleeds into another and another and another. You feel as if you're on a river, and it's slowly pulling you down the stream, heading toward a steep drop-off, and there's nothing you can do about it. It reminds you of one of those winding, lazy river rides at an amusement park where you go with your kids. It's not too swift, but steadily winds down to a drop-off. You can twirl a little bit, bump into others, but it will take you off a drop at the end, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. You stop at Starbucks along the way to get a cup of your fuel. Muscle memory makes you produce your ID card to the security guard. Someone sees you coming toward the elevator and hits the closed door button before she couldn't be bothered to wait. The day goes into a slow motion daze. Banal, good morning pleasantries, boring, tedious meetings, a cold and tasteless sandwich at the desk, boss barking at you and the team, then another dreadful commute home. Your wife is telling you about her day. The kids are arguing, the dog's barking at something, and the television left on in the other room is blurring. One of the kids yells at the other for taking the last slice of pizza, and you lose it. You bang the table and scream at your son for taking the pizza, berate your daughter for the fuss, and end up in a shouting match with your wife. You storm off, fall into the couch, watch some football, drink a beer, and eat a leftover cold pizza until you lose consciousness and fall asleep. Then it starts all over again and again and again. That was a piece that I found on Forbes, written by a man by Jack Kelly, and I'll tell you what, I think he nailed it. That's what my life was like. Now, I didn't take the train to work. I took a car to work, but it's the exact same thing. And, you know, it doesn't matter where you're at. We can get you out of that. We absolutely can get you out of that. Now, we can't do it overnight. I am not going to blow smoke up your chimney and tell you I can get you financial freedom overnight. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort on your part. You can't sit on your hands. And I'll tell you what, you've got to break that cycle of going through the motions. You've got to find a better way. And we have that better way at Lifestyles Unlimited. You know why I know this? Because I'm on that path to financial freedom. As a matter of fact, when I look back, I've already passed financial freedom. I'm working on the lifestyle. And I'll tell you what, it is an incredible feeling. It is a feeling that I didn't feel for the first 50 to, let's see, when did I become a member? 3 years ago, I'm 56. Okay, so for the first 53 years of my life, I was going through the motion. Man, I didn't know anything different. I had no clue, absolutely no clue, that I could use real estate to get myself retired. And then I found Lifestyles Unlimited. And I'll tell you what, I got my butt in there. I went to a free workshop. I listened to what they said in the free workshop. And you know what? I was planning to rip it all apart because my mindset was, I know everything. I'm better than that. There's nothing they're going to teach me. I went there with a negative attitude and basically expected to just go in, sit there, tap my foot, and walk out. But what I found was this. The information that was presented was the information I needed to hear. It's the information that helped me to start breaking down that path I was on. It helped me to stop going through the motions because it introduced concepts to me that I had never heard anywhere before. And I've got 2 business degrees. I've got an undergraduate business degree from the University of Southern California, and I've got a graduate business degree from the University of Phoenix. I know a little bit about business. I can run businesses. I've run businesses. But I'll tell you what was taught to me was never taught to me before when I went to that free workshop. And it is a game changer. So we sat through the free workshop. I put my pride in my back pocket. because I realized that what I was hearing was going to affect me in a different way than what I had been doing. So I became a member, and I went through the 2-day financial freedom course. And I'll tell you what, I had a multimillionaire, David Fisher, teach me what right looked like. I mean, I was blown away. I had no idea that I could invest in real estate the way Lifestyles invests in real estate. I had no idea how to use hard money. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that by using hard money, I could keep my cash outlays as low as possible, thereby increasing my returns. I didn't know that I could invest in multifamily. I had no idea. I thought that was for the rich people. I thought that was for the faceless entities out there. Boy, was I wrong. I was absolutely wrong. And in that 16 hours, my life was completely transformed. It was transformed. You want to talk about blowing up the concept of going through the motions? Well, that's what happened to me. It blew my doors away. And it got me to a point where I was able to leave that job at the city of San Antonio 6 months later, because I had started investing correctly into residential income producing real estate. And I was starting to get returns. And I had looked at my financial situation and realized that I was paying a lot of money for stuff that I didn't need. And I was able to dwindle down my expenses. And I'll tell you what, it was going through the Lifestyles Unlimited education program that helped me to conceptualize all of that. It absolutely did. So where am I now? Well, I'm not worried about the Army, because that's in the past. I'm not worried about the city of San Antonio, because that's in the past. What I worry about is the future. And I don't worry that much, because I know I'm on a glide path. I know I'm on a path to financial freedom. I've got the map. The map has gotten me where I'm trying to get to. And you know what? It's going to continue to get me there faster and more efficiently the more I get into following the map. So I've got to ask you the question. Are you done going through the motions? Are you sick of it? Have you had enough? The first thing you need to do is get to one of our free workshops. We're doing them virtually right now, so you've got no excuse. Go to freeworkshoplivestream.com. That's freeworkshoplivestream.com. All one word smashed together. You will find our free workshops. And remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle.
The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.